What's going on, everybody? It's Pelfrey, and hopefully you can hear me over the booster pump. The first 8 or 10 seconds of this video, I'm sure you can hear the pump. It is pretty loud. Now this is in my laundry room, so I can shut the door and we don't have to worry about hearing the sound of the booster pump. And I still need to shorten this line right here. But overall, this thing is working magnificently. I do need to address the filters in the Rodi unit, and I plan to do it this coming week. But basically, if you look here, this is the TDS coming out of the unit, so we're still at 0. But before the booster pump, I ran at just at 40 psi as far as the water pressure was concerned. Now that I have the booster pump, I got it turned up just shy of 80. The great thing about the booster pump, if you don't know anything about these booster pumps, they're actually adjustable, so you can actually stick an Allen wrench in to, if I can get it in there, this area here, and if you turn it to the right this way, this is going to go up, the pressure is going to go up, and you could actually turn it to the left, and you can turn the pressure down. So that's a great feature to have here. But I'll take you to the garage. This thing has, I wish that I would have done this a long time ago. This, I did notice earlier, this is a manual flush Rodi unit. So this is the valve that has to be turned on and off to flush the system. But whenever I was flushing the system, I did notice that the booster pump did not come on, and it was at a low PSI. Now I don't remember what the exact pressure was before I added the booster pump, but you know, it is what it is. But I'm going to address the 3 filters here, get these changed out and new filters in the unit. That way the membrane is not affected. But let's go out to the garage and take a look. So this is the pressure that the Rodi gets when it's in flush mode. And of course you can hear now, if you can hear anything, it's the air conditioner outside running, but the booster pump is not running. So it in fact does not run the booster pump whenever we're doing the flush. So I like to run the flush for 30 seconds or a minute before and after each cycle. So, but one thing I'm probably going to work on too is at least moving this maybe over there above that coat rack, just so I can get to the flush valve there, because right now I'm standing on a bucket and it's just kind of a pain. And you know, if it's not easy in this hobby, then we tend not to do it. So a couple things here. The first one is I actually picked up another threaded fitting and another ball valve. So you can see here, I actually left, I don't know, an inch or so of PVC, and I wanted to reduce that down. So now you can see I'm going to actually it'll offset, I guess, back another inch or so. The only reason that I'm doing this is just to simply push it back as far as I can, since this is in the garage and there's ultimately a car door, and there's people walking through here, and I don't really want anybody to snap it off or get hurt or anything. So you know, a threaded fitting here, I don't know, what is it, 78 cents or so, and a ball valve is $3. So you know, my glue job wasn't so hot this time, but I do plan on installing this the next time that this tank is empty or near empty. Something else I did do, because my jug that I used to fill up my Auto Top Off container is it's a tall jug. I did add 2 4-inch concrete block on top of the center block, so now I can set the jug directly underneath. Grab it real quick here. do it on the fly. So if I set it here, and once again, all I do is slide this piece in. I don't need to glue it in because it doesn't have any pressure, it's gravity. And now my jug will set directly underneath it, which is perfect. I don't have to hold the jug sideways or anything anymore. So those two blocks here lifted it up. It was just perfect. So that's another task completed this week. The last thing is, and I was talking about the booster pump when I was at the Rodi, but this container, it's been awesome to have. There's nothing better than if you need Rodi water, you put a bucket underneath this ball valve and you fill it up on the fly. It's very easy to do. Should have done this a long time ago. But back to the booster pump. I looked at the clock a few minutes ago and it was like 9:50. I turned, actually whenever I hooked the booster pump up last week or 2 weeks ago, I'd already had 25 or 30 gallons of water in here, so I really didn't get the full potential of the booster pump. And it had actually taken me 3 or 4 nights running the Rodi for 3 or 4 or 5 hours to get up to the 25 or 30 gallon marking. So the pressure that I had coming in was 40 psi, and it simply took forever. So tonight, whenever I got home, I turned the Rodi on at about 4:45, so give or take 5 hours, which is a 90 gallon per day unit. I had 5 gallons in here previously, so I had 5 gallons in the container. I moved the container off the center blocks. I added the 2 4-inch center blocks, and then I put the container back on here, and I did not switch this piece out just because I still had 5 gallons in there and I didn't really want to mess with it. But anyway, at about 4:45 with 5 gallons in this jug, I turned the Rodi on. And here we are, like I said, about 5 hours later, and I'm at almost 33 gallons. I'd say it's probably 32 gallons. So it's something I should have done a long time ago. It's gonna greatly increase the water that I can make. So I'm only gonna have to run it for about 5 or 6 hours to fill this up versus 12 or 16 hours, which is what I was having to run it at. It'll definitely extend the life of the filters that I have. So it's very important to understand that if you have low pressure and you're sending low pressure through your Rodi unit, you will ultimately have to change out the filters more often because for whatever reason, the low pressure affects the filters that are in the Rodi unit. And also the temperature. I have my Rodi unit in the house and it is hooked up to the cold line. But that's why I mentioned being able to adjust the booster pump earlier, because this winter, whenever water gets cold, it's going to flow through the Rodi differently whenever it's cold. So I have the ability to adjust the amount of flow. So these are things that I should have done a long time ago. And, thinking back on it, I probably should have got the 65 or 75 gallon container. And it may very well be something that I'll look into later, where I might get another 40 gallon and store 80 gallons of water. Who knows? For now, this is working for me, so I'll keep it just like as it is. The second thing is, shout out to Spencer. I know I've mentioned him before. He's one of the local guys. He let me borrow this handheld TDS meter. So if you've watched any of my other videos over the last week or so, you've probably noticed me talking about hair algae in the aquarium, and I've attributed the hair algae to a couple different things, and one of them I thought was the quality of water. So I had mentioned something to him, and he said, yeah, I have one, you can borrow it, no problem. So basically I filled this thing up to about 20 to 25 gallons. I took a cup, a brand new cup. It was a little plastic cup that's never been used before. I filled it up with Rodi water. So I knew that the cup didn't have any residue, any soap or anything in it. Filled it up, and I put the TDS meter in there, and it came back at 0.0. So This verified that my Rodi unit reading all zeros on the output is in fact correct. So shout out to Spencer. Thanks for letting me borrow this, man. I appreciate it. I'm definitely going to pick one of these up probably this week just to have so that I could test out. But I thought that my water quality was attributing to the green hair algae, and I think I'm pretty sure I ruled that out, but who knows. So anyway, I think I've been rambling on now for about 7 minutes, and by the time I add the first part of the video in here, it's probably a 10-minute video or so. But I'm going to shut the Rodi off. I'm going to coil my Murloc line up. This will get me by for about a month or so. The new tank, it's on its way. So stay tuned. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching this from the web, be sure to hit the little gear button by my name underneath my video and click notify me. And if you're watching this from my Apple phone, hit the little bell and hit notify me, and you'll be notified every time I put a video up, which I try to do I've been doing it every Thursday, but I do it once a week for sure. Thanks to all my new subscribers, and we'll see you on the next video. Later.